What is it that makes the menorah so remarkable in not only Jewish history, but the history of the world? The menorah is the 7-branch lampstand of the Mishkan, tabernacle, and temple, fashioned of pure gold, lit daily by priestly service, and interpreted as a symbol of divine wisdom, Torah, and Israel's mission to bring light. In my first video and blog, link in description below, on this I examined the birth and life of the menorah in an introductory fashion. What follows here is a more in-depth, structured journey through its origins and meaning as told by the written Torah, Tanakh, the Mishnah, the Gemara, Talmud, and the Midrash, each adding layers of law, ritual detail, symbol, and story. It is in the written Torah and throughout the Tanakh, Hebrew Bible, that we are given the blueprint for the creation of the menorah. Hashem's command and design are found in Shemot, Exodus 25 verses 31 to 40, and again in 37 verses 17 to 24. The material is to be that of pure gold, and the method for its structure is hammered, miksha, from a single piece, a central shaft with 6 branches, 3 on each side, yielding 7 lamps. Its ornamentation is almond-shaped cups, gevim meshukadim, knobs, kaftorim, and flowers, parahim. It is to be accompanied with utensils of tongs and firepans of pure gold. The menorahs and all its vessels' gross weight must equal a talent, kikar, of gold approximately tens of kilograms in our weight measurements. Moshe is told to make it according to the pattern shown on the mountain in Shemot 25 verse 40, hinting that its exact form transcends ordinary craftsmanship. Its location and service within the sanctuary are spelled out in Shemot 26 verse 35, 27 verses 20 and 21, 40 verses 4 and 24, and Vayikra, Leviticus 24 verses 2 to 4, and it sits on the south side of the holy chamber, Haikal, opposite the table of showbread. As I stated in the introductory teaching, the oil must be clear olive oil beaten, not pressed, shemen zayit zak katit for light. Aaron and priests light and tend the lamps continually, ner tamid, arranging them morning and evening in order to shine before Adonai within the sacred space. Aaron's procedure for lighting and raising the flame is found in Bimidbar, Numbers 8 verses 1 to 4, Behaloteka et hanerot, often read as, when you cause the lamps to ascend. Traditionally, this emphasizes holding the lighting taper until the flame rises on its own, a metaphor for education and spiritual nurture. The menorah in temple times takes on an even more prestigious narrative. In Solomon's temple, 10 golden menorah are listed among the temple furnishings in 1 Kings 7 verse 49. And in 2 Chronicles 4 verse 7, 5 on each side, indicating expansion of the tabernacle model. During the Babylonian exile, history describes plundering of temple vessels, for example, 2 Kings 25, Jeremiah 52, situating the menorah within the tragedy of destruction and exile. Zechariah 4 portrays a visionary golden menorah flanked by 2 olive trees, delivering the message, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, interpreting light as the sign of divine presence and spiritual leadership. The Mishnah maps the Second Temple, placing the menorah in the south of the Haikal, the table in the north, and the golden altar centrally aligned, fulfilling the Exodus blueprint. Daily tending duties, as described in Mishnah Tamid and Mishnah Yoma, have the Kohen Hatavat Hanerot, preparing the lamps, cleaning and trimming wicks, and replenishing the oil each day. The preparation was split, 5 lamps first, then service of the incense, then the remaining 2, establishing a rhythm that intertwined light and fragrance at the heart of daily worship. Priestly tasks, including tending the lamps, were assigned by daily lotteries, reflecting care to avoid rivalry and to sanctify routine. Oil and purity standards had to be kept very high, no room for error. Mishnah Menachot, Kelem, the menorah required the purest grade, beaten oil, reflecting a high bar of sanctity for what symbolized Torah's illumination. As a sacred vessel, the menorah figures in discussions of degrees of holiness and purity laws, underscoring its status among the temple's holiest implements. The menorah represented a continuity of light, ner ma'aravi, western lamp. The Mishnah's ritual framework anticipates later Talmudic discourse about a particular lamp that miraculously burned longer, signifying ongoing divine favor. The Gemara, Talmud, set the standard for design details, miracles, and law, specifically in Menachot 28b to 29a. The sages list the numbers of cups, knobs, and flowers and debate details, plumbing the Torah's sparse descriptions for precise artistry. Chazal debate on alternate materials. If gold is unavailable, the menorah may be made from other metals, a practical allowance rooted in the imperative to serve even in scarcity. The meaning of Behaloteka is discussed in Shabbat 21a. Raise up is read as lighting until the flame ascends independently, a halakhic detail that doubles as spiritual pedagogy about kindling others until they can shine on their own. The menorah's service order is found in Yoma 33a and b Tamid. Here we find the 5 and 2 pattern. Gemara derives and explains the split tending of the lamps and its placement in the morning service, weaving textual hints into a concrete daily schedule. The Western lamp and its divine testimony are in Shabbat 22b, Yoma 39a. The Ner Ma'aravi is said to have burned beyond its measured oil, testifying that the Shekinah rested with Israel. After Shimon HaTzadik, several signs, including this one, reportedly ceased after his passing, a sober reflection on the spiritual decline of Bnei Yisrael. Oil laws are found in Menachot 86a, Katit Lamaor. For lamplighting, only the first purest pressing of olives was acceptable. Lesser pressings were permitted for meal offerings, again highlighting the elevated standard of the menorah's light. There is a prohibition on an exact replication of the original menorah given to Moshe in Avodah Zarah 43a. No exact copy may be fashioned. One may not replicate a menorah in the precise form of the temple's 7-branched lampstand, paralleling the ban on reproducing other temple vessels in order to protect the sanctity and uniqueness of the Mikdash's symbols. Moshe and the menorah's mystery are discussed in Shemot Rabbah, Tanhuma, and echoed by Rashi. Midrash relates that Moshe struggled to realize the complex form until Hashem showed him a menorah of fire, or that it emerged miraculously after he threw gold into flames, teaching that some sanctities are divinely enabled. The consolation to Aaron in Bamidbar Rabbah 15, Tanhuma Behaloteka, yours is greater than theirs. After the tribal princes brought inauguration offerings, Aaron was consoled. The lighting of the menorah is his distinctive service, enduring for all generations. Many midrashim link this to the future lights of Hanukkah, suggesting Aaron's role echoes through rededication in times of darkness. Zechariah's menorah of spirit, found in Zechariah 4, has a midrashic interpretation in which 2 olive trees identified as the 2 anointed ones, commonly Joshua the high priest and Zerubbabel the Davidic governor. Some midrashim see Moshe and Aaron, others the messianic figures. The message, however, is consistent. Israel's light flows from divine spirit and faithful leadership. The 7 lamps represent days of creation, heavens, planets, gates of human perception, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, mouth, and branches of wisdom. Midrash layers multiple symbol systems to show that the menorah maps cosmos and person, time, and Torah. Ner mitzvah v'Torah or. Proverbs 6, verse 23. The menorah becomes the living emblem of Torah as light, guiding, clarifying, refining. The rising flame represents education. Behaloteka's image is elaborated midrashically as a method for souls. Hold the spark close until it can rise on its own, ideal for teachers, parents, and leaders. From Mishkan to temples to memory, the menorah gives us a narrative arc. Crafted to a heavenly pattern, the menorah travels with the Mishkan, its quiet light sanctifying Israel's journey and worship. Its first temple grandeur by Solomon multiplies the imagery tenfold, 10 menorot, suggesting an intensified radiance in a permanent house. Exile then wrenches the vessels away, turning light into longing. With the second temple, resilience returns to a single menorah in service. Antiochus's defilement and the Hasmonean rededication, celebrated in rabbinic lore by the oil miracle, weld the menorah's identity to faithful resistance and renewed sanctity. After the full destruction in 70 CE, the image appears in Roman triumph in the Arch of Titus and in Jewish memory. Rabbinic law cautions against reproducing the exact temple form, yet the menorah's silhouette becomes a Jewish emblem. Its meaning outlasts its material. Putting all these layers together, the written Torah gives the menorah's physical form, sanctified placement, nuanced daily service, and the prophetic vision tying light to spirit. The Mishnah embeds it in the temple's architecture and routine, with procedures, lotteries, and purity frames that make daily service exact and reverent. The Gemara unpacks counts, methods, halakhic boundaries, and the signs of divine favor, connects the menorah's ethos to enduring light, and the Midrash tells the inner story, divine assistance in crafting holiness, Aaron's lifelong consolation, symbolic maps of cosmos and person, and a pedagogy of kindling souls until they shine. The look at the menorah in my first introductory study, and now with this more in-depth look, we can come away with some practical and symbolic takeaways. First, ritual rigor and spiritual warmth can coexist. Meticulous avodah, 5 lamps then 2, pure oil, careful tending, alongside poetry of light and spirit. Secondly, the menorah's light is testimony to the Shekinah's presence, to Israel's mission, and to a kind of strength, not by might nor by power. And third, we have endurance. From the Mishkan to the temples to Hanukkah lamps in every home, the menorah's story converts catastrophe into commitment and memory into mitzvah. My final thoughts. The menorah's full story is a braid of craft and covenant. The Torah orders gold into a precise form. The Mishnah choreographs its living service. The Gemara articulates its halakhic contours and testifies to its wonders. The Midrash lets it speak as symbol and solace. Across these voices, the menorah is not just an artifact. It is a way of seeing. Light kindled with care, rising on its own, illuminating the sanctuary and the soul. It is more than a symbol. It is divine light. Thank you for staying with this important study to the end. If you have done so, then it shows just how committed you are to learning Torah, Talmud, and Midrash, and the various areas of life it shines a light on. Please like, subscribe, and share with others. Follow me on Rumble, Locals, YouTube, Substack, and Blogger. Leave your comments below or contact me via email to shmu@startmail.com. Until next time, this is Shmuel ben Shlomi of Shmu's Views, wishing you shalom.